Hollywood is built on fame, power, and ego. But some stars went further, challenging something far greater. From shocking speeches to public statements, John Lennon, he said, "Christianity will go. It will vanish and shrink. We're more popular than Jesus now." The world erupted. Church groups burned Beatles records, radio stations banned their songs, and Lennon was forced to apologize. But the damage was already done. Some fans believe that the tragic way Lennon's life ended was a grim reminder that words have consequences. Marilyn Monroe. She was the most desired woman in the world, the definition of Hollywood glamour. In 1962, evangelist Billy Graham reportedly tried to speak with her about faith. He told her, "The Spirit of God has sent me to talk with you." Marilyn smiled and replied, "I don't need your Jesus." Just weeks later, she was found no longer alive in her LA home, a chilling reminder that no amount of fame can replace faith. Bruce Ismay, chairman of the White Star Line, boasted of the Titanic's perfection, calling it unsinkable. He reportedly declared, "Not even God himself could sink this ship." Words that would echo through history. When the Titanic struck the iceberg, Ismay escaped in a lifeboat, while more than 1,500 souls perished. He lived, but in lifelong disgrace. Jim Morrison, the voice of the Doors, lived like he was immortal. During a concert, when a fan shouted, "You're a god," Morrison replied, "You're right, you're talking to God." His words became legend and a warning. Narcotics, chaos, and rebellion consumed his life, and at just 27 years old, he was gone, found lifeless in a bathtub in Paris. Heath Ledger, the man who became chaos. Ledger openly mocked faith, once saying, "I don't believe in God, I believe in chaos." To embody the Joker, he isolated himself for weeks, filling journals with twisted thoughts, sketches, and lines of madness. At just 28, Heath was found dead in his New York apartment, surrounded by prescription pills. Benito Mussolini, the man who played God. He demanded worship for himself and the state, replacing devotion to God with a cult of personality. In April 1945, Mussolini tried to flee, but was captured alongside his mistress. Both were executed, and their bodies publicly hung upside down in Milan. Avicii, the music that haunted him. He was a global sensation, a DJ whose music filled stadiums and hearts alike. But behind the beats, Avicii openly rejected faith, saying, "I'm more of an atheist than anything. I don't believe in God." By 28, despite fame and fortune, he was found lifeless in Oman, a tragic end confirmed as suicide. Stephen Hawking, the mind that questioned God. Stephen Hawking openly questioned God, once saying, "There is no God. Science explains everything." He challenged faith with logic, declaring the cosmos governed by laws, not divine will. For decades, he inspired millions while battling a body that refused to obey him. Yet, even brilliance could not escape human mortality. He passed in 2018 at 76. Prince, the genius who played with fire. In his songs, he often wrestled with questions of faith, once asking, "Do I believe in God? Do I believe in me?" His life was a mix of brilliance and inner conflict, and his sudden passing in 2016 shocked the world. His story reminds us how even legends struggle between fame and faith. Jim Jones, the man who claimed divinity. He founded the People's Temple, posing as a pastor. But soon, Jim Jones stopped preaching God and started preaching himself. He declared, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." In 1978, over 900 followers moved to Jonestown in the Guyana jungle. Jones ordered the ultimate act, poisoned Flavor Aid. More than 918 people died, including 300 children. Yuri Gagarin, he was the first human to orbit the Earth. Yuri famously said after his historic flight, "I don't see any God up here," challenging faith with his cosmic perspective. Yet even in glory, he remained mortal. Gagarin passed in 1968 in a plane crash at just 34. His story reminds us human achievement can reach the stars, but questioning the divine often stirs controversy on Earth. Extentation rose from pain, chaos, and rebellion. His music spoke to millions lost in darkness, but fame changed him. In an old recording, he was heard saying, "All of these people will be worshipping me." He began to see himself the God among men. At just 20 years old, in 2018, he was shot and murdered in Florida during a robbery. The same fame he thought would make him untouchable brought him to his end. George Carlin. He was one of the sharpest minds in comedy, fearless, brilliant, and brutally honest. George Carlin built his career tearing down sacred institutions, and none more fiercely than religion. In his infamous routine, he declared, "Religion is bullshit," mocking belief in God as a man-made lie to control the weak. The audience laughed and cheered, and he died in 2008 at 71. Joseph Stalin. He ruled the Soviet Union with iron and terror for decades. Stalin saw faith as an enemy, shutting churches, executing priests, and teaching atheism as law. He declared, "Religion is the opium of the people," and demanded to be worshipped as a living god. But even the dictator could not escape mortality. One day, a stroke struck him down in his own residence. Bon Scott, the voice on the highway to hell. He was the raspy, electrifying voice of AC/DC, thrilling audiences worldwide, but his lyrics carried a dark pride. In Highway to Hell, he shouted, "I'm on the highway to hell," while thousands echoed his words. The Bible warns, "Whatever a man sows, he shall reap." Less than a year later, Bon Scott was found not breathing in a car after a night of heavy drinking in Charles Manson, the false messiah. He led the cult known as the Family. Manson claimed, "I am Jesus. I have returned to lead the chosen," blending Bible verses with apocalyptic delusions. In August 1969, he ordered the brutal murder of Sharon Tate and others. Manson spent nearly 50 years in prison, still proclaiming himself Christ and Satan. He died in 2017. Tancredo Neves, the president who never took office. He reportedly said, "If I get 500,000 votes, not even God will remove me from the presidency." But fate had other plans. On the eve of his inauguration, he fell gravely ill. Despite the prayers of millions, he never took office and passed shortly after at 75. His story is a haunting reminder that bold promises cannot defy mortality. Madonna, the queen of blasphemy. The 80s gave us pop rebellion like never before, and Madonna led the charge. Her Like a Prayer video mixed faith and sexuality with burning crosses that shocked the world. The Vatican condemned her, and Pepsi cancelled her $1 million deal overnight. But Madonna never apologized. She once said, "I'm not mocking God. I'm showing people how faith and sin live together." Kanye West, from ego to redemption. Kanye West once called himself a god. In 2013, he released a song titled "I Am a God," declaring, "I just talked to Jesus." He said, "What up, Jesus?" Fans called it genius, others called it blasphemy. But years later, Kanye surprised everyone by releasing a gospel album, Jesus is King, saying he'd found faith again. Whether his change was spiritual or symbolic, one thing was clear: even in fame, the search for God never really ends. What do you think? Did these stars go too far, or were they just expressing freedom of speech?